I wholeheartedly believe that The Witcher 3 has the best map in all of gaming. It is a map with various different regions, all with a unique aspect to them. A map hidden with secrets waiting for you to find them, and a map that is just so big you would be satisfied with just one of these areas if it was the full game. Well, maybe not the Royal Palace of Vizima, but I'm sure you see where I'm coming from. And as time goes on, this world just seems to age like fine wine. It was only a year ago where I made my first video ranking all of these great areas, and now I feel like I needed to do it again with some big changes. Today, I'm going to be revisiting the 7 major areas of The Witcher 3, each a masterpiece in its own right, and I'll rank these locations based on the design, storytelling, and personal impact that I've had with them on my own playthroughs. Now, of course, this list was agonizing to create. There's just so many of these areas that could be easily swapped and feel just as right, but I suppose that just shows the true level of quality that is here within The Witcher 3. A quick side note before we do start, if you enjoyed today's video, please be sure to consider subscribing. But anyway, let's get to it. So coming in at number 7, to the surprise of probably no one, is going to be the Royal Palace of Vizima, and it is a shining example of what CD Projekt Red can do even in the smallest of locations, and how they're just able to make them feel so grand. The moment you step into the palace, you are enveloped in a sense of power and a sense of majesty. Every single detail from the intricate tapestries to the ornament furniture tells a story of wealth, and especially shows the personality that Emperor Emir is going to be bringing. It's not just the visuals, however, that make the Royal Palace memorable. I like to think of it more as the atmosphere. The palace is a hub of political intrigue where Emir is always plotting his next move in the ongoing war. And it's just a location that always reminds you of Geralt's precarious position in the world. While the Palace of Vizima doesn't offer the sprawling exploration of other areas or the massive scale, it serves its purpose as a crucial narrative focal point. It does a perfect job of immersing you in the high-stakes politics of the continent and gives you a glimpse of the power struggles that really do define this game. So coming up next is going to be White Orchard, and it may be the smallest area in The Witcher 3 outside of the Royal Palace of Vizima, but I really like to think it is just one of the most impactful, as the starting zone that truly does help set the tone for the entire game. Now, it's a bit of a controversial one because a lot of people don't actually like The Witcher 3, believe it or not, and it's down to the fact they believe it is boring for the first hour, and maybe that could be because of White Orchard. Is there something I'm missing here? Because I think this is a fantastic area with so much to offer. The presence of the Nilfgaardian soldiers here in this small town remind you that the land is under occupation at all times. The villagers, though seemingly ordinary, they have their own stories of loss and resilience, giving the area a sense of authenticity. The attention to detail in White Orchard as well is quite astounding, from all of the ruined battlefields littered with corpses, as well as that within White Orchard, the Griffin contract, one of the first major quests in the game, really helps set the stage for the challenges that you're going to be facing as a Witcher, and for new players it is a great introduction as that first real hunt. But most importantly for me, White Orchard just always evokes that sense of nostalgia, and the only reason it ranks so low is just purely because how good the other areas truly are. So coming up at number 5 now is going to be Kaer Morhen, and it might be something that people are surprised about, as many would actually favour White Orchard over this area. I think this is just more than a location, however. It is a home obviously to all of the School of the Wolf Witchers, an ancient stronghold nestled in the mountains, and is in fact where one of the best moments of the entire main story happens, where you're obviously defending off the Wild Hunt in an incredible battle. As well as that, the beauty of Kaer Morhen can just speak for itself. You get some of the most breathtaking views in the entire game, especially with the iconic one at the very beginning. The fortress itself as well is a marvel of design. Its crumbling walls and overgrown courtyards speak as a bygone era, when the Witchers were more numerous and their influence was so much greater. Vesemir always adamant to obviously try and repair it, however the other Witchers just kind of want to leave it and go on somewhere else. Exploring Kaer Morhen, you'll find the training grounds, old laboratories, and many hidden passageways that hint at its storied past. But it isn't about just the architecture, it is more so about the people. It's obviously where Geralt reunites with his fellow Witchers, including Vesemir, Lambert, and Eskel, and just seeing them together as a group adds an emotional depth to the game, making Kaer Morhen feel like an actual real home for Geralt. Something that unfortunately not many Witchers can just say. The forests and mountains in the surrounding area are teeming with wildlife, offering some of the most breathtaking views, and while Kaer Morhen is a place of peace for pretty much most of the story, like I said about that battle, it completely transforms it into a completely different place, making one of the most memorable moments in the game for myself, and that's why I am ranking it a little bit higher than White Orchard. As well as the nostalgia from Witcher 1 as well, that always helps add to this amazing location. Skellige Isles are not just a place, they are a breathtaking blend of harsh beauty and untamed wildness. Certainly an area that has grown on me the more I play this game. These islands feel like a world apart from the entire war-torn swamps of Velin, or even the bustling streets of Novigrad. Skellige's rich tapestry of tales revolves around the epics of heroism, undying loyalty, and brutal clan conflicts, just making this place an absolute pleasure and a change of scenery, especially when you go there for the very first time. The geography of Skellige is very unforgiving and can be frustrating when you have to travel to one of the 6 main islands scattered across the stormy sea. For me, what truly sets Skellige apart, however, is the people. The islanders are fiercely independent, who view everybody on the continent as, let's just say, soft pansies. All of them bound by a code of honor, ancient traditions, and a thirst for a glorious death in battle, and that is represented by the 7 proud clans on these isles. I also love how everyone here just seems so much more friendlier to Geralt. It was a very nice change. The side quests in Skellige as well are some of the game's most unforgettable. Go into a completely abandoned island to slay an ice giant, lifting ancient curses from the haunted isles. But let's not forget the best thing about Skellige, and that is the music. I have never been more tempted to spend over £100 on a vinyl just to get the Witcher 10th Anniversary Deluxe vinyl so I can hear this incredible soundtrack, in particular the soundtrack from Skellige. Let me play it a little bit louder so you can just take it all in. So coming up next will be Velin, also known as No Man's Land, and is arguably one of the most atmospheric regions in the entire of The Witcher 3. A sprawling, desolate wasteland, scarred so much by the brutality of the Third Northern War. It is here that the game's darker, grittier themes, survival, the fragility of humanity, moral rot and decay, and the blurred line between monster and man take central stage, crafting a setting so haunting and so unforgetting that fans often hail it as the emotional core of Geralt's saga. Velin's identity is forged mainly in the fires of the Nilfgaardi invasion and the Redanian retreat during this Third Northern War, transformed the once agricultural Temerian province, rich in forests, wetland, and cultivated woods, swamps, and bogs, into a depopulated hellscape of burnt villages, mass graves, and the infamous Hangman's Tree, a colossal lightning-struck oak on a misty hillock overlooking the Pontar. Velin's aesthetic just screams decay, endless muddy roads snaking through the lane-rashed fields all the way towards Novigrad, the constant grey overcast skies, the sparse dead forest haunted by noon wraiths, and the disgusting witches of Crookback Bog. For some reason, the crones have always been some of the standout characters for me in The Witcher 3. Something just made me so interested in them, in their lore, their history, and the setting and theme of Velin only aided in making them more interesting. But you don't talk about Velin without talking about the Bloody Baron quest now, do you? It thrusts you into the game's most gut-wrenching choices, where no path is necessarily clean, and consequences that will haunt your playthrough, often pitting personal redemption against a communal doom. Family Matters is one of the greatest quests in all of RPG gaming. The Bloody Baron drowns his sorrows in mead after beating his wife Anna into a miscarriage and driving his daughter Tamara to Oxenfurt's witch hunters. How this game manages to make you feel bad for a man as despicable as this is just honestly incredible. For a place as gloomy and depressing as Velin, it masters the environment that is given. It makes you feel terrible for the poor villagers living in the lands. It makes you feel like you don't want to be there, and that is what's so captivating and draws you to it. There's so many fantastic dilemmas around with the side quests as well. You also have the Whispering Hillock quest, where you just lead yourself blind into a decision where you have no idea what the ramifications are. The area makes you want to hate it so badly. It makes you want to leave so much, but when the gleaming golden sun comes raising over the lush fields, it makes you think that it might not be all that bad. In Velen, it's crazy to say that there are moments of tranquility amid the hanged men twisting in the breeze, and it's just a theme that no other game has ever been able to match, and I'm not too sure if they will. Now, coming in second on the list is going to be the supposed free city of Novigrad. And if there was a way to reset my memory to have no knowledge of this place whatsoever, then I would opt in for it, because entering this place for the very first time was an incredible experience. Novigrad isn't just any old city, it is a capsule of the moral, political, and the cultural struggles that define The Witcher 3. It's a place where the game's themes of power, corruption, and survival all collide in one city, creating a setting that feels as alive as any of the characters do. The level of detail poured into Novigrad is staggering, from the muddy streets of the poorer districts to the grandeur of the richer areas dominated by the Eternal Fire's influence. This city transitions seamlessly from the chaotic fish market where the street vendors haggle and argue, to Temple Isle where the Eternal's Fire imposing cathedrals casts a huge shadow over the city. Every district in Novigrad, I like to say, has its own unique character. The poor area hums with the sounds of ships creaking and sailors shouting orders, while the wealthy neighborhoods display the opulent homes and the manicured gardens. As well as that, the slums are equally detailed, with the ramshackle buildings and narrow alleyways all evoking that sense of despair. And it's not like Novigrad needed anything else and more amazing, but it shines brightest through the characters and the stories that you meet in this place. It's here that you reconnect with old allies like Chris Marigold, whose arc is one of the most interesting in the game, helping her rescue the persecuted mages and non-humans from the clutches of the Eternal Fire. It is pretty deeply personal and a morally complex journey. You also meet Dijkstra, the former head of Redalian intelligence, and his intrigue pulls you into Novigrad's criminal underworld, where double crosses and shady deals are the order of the day. These characters lead to some of the best quests in The Witcher 3, each one layered with moral ambiguity and actual consequences like the previous ones we've seen. Side quests like the serial killer case in Carnal Sins is a dark multi-stage side quest, showcases the game's incredible ability to blend detective work alongside thrilling emotional stakes. When you uncover that Hubert was a hired vampire and coroner all along, it is incredible, and the dialogue still reminds me of this quest to this day. It was just incredible playing it for the very first time.
I last fought a Witcher 2 centuries ago. I do hope I remember how it's done. And you? Have you faced one of us? No, you couldn't have. You would have survived.
The city feels like it has layers upon layers. Every sort of street and alleyway that you turn, you may second guess if you've been there for the very first time or not. I can guarantee there's still places I haven't been to in Novigrad till this day, and that is what makes it so fascinating. The ambient sounds of Novigrad, the laughter spilling from the taverns, the clatter of hooves on the cobblestone, it all makes the city feel truly alive. The music as well, another fantastic addition to this game's incredible release of music. Novigrad isn't quite just a location, I believe it is one of the top cities that you will find in any RPG game, a character within its own right, and one of the most memorable places that you will visit in The Witcher 3. I think we all knew that it was coming. For number one, we have to go to Toussaint. If Velen represents the harsh realities of Geralt's world and the entire continent in general, Toussaint is its dreamlike counterpart, a place that feels almost too good to be true. Introduced in the Blood and Wine expansion, Toussaint is a vibrant, sunlit land of vineyards, rolling hills, and picturesque villages. It is a classic love letter to fairy tales and romance, but like in any fairy tale, it does hide a dark and dangerous heart. But like I said, Toussaint is a visual feast. The land is awash in colours that contrast starkly with the muted tones of Velen and Skellige. Golden fields of wheat swaying in the breeze, lavender blooms stretch as far as your eyes can see, and the crystal clear rivers that win their way through the countryside. The sunsets here are unparalleled, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink that reflects off the waters. The city of Beauclair is the crown jewel of Toussaint. Its vibrant streets are filled with markets, performers, and the nobles clad in this extravagant attire that you would never see in any other part of the continent. The architecture with its intricate spires and colourful facades, it is inspired by the Renaissance Europe, giving the city a timeless elegance. So you may be thinking, well, how can this have any sort of bad aspect to it whatsoever? Where are the monsters? Where is the danger here that Geralt is so used to? Well, beneath its polished exterior lies a simmering tension that only makes this place so much better. The main questline of Blood and Wine is a masterclass in storytelling, like pretty much every other Witcher 3 quest. Geralt's investigation into a series of brutal murders takes him deep into the heart of Toussaint Toussaint's darkness. The contrast between the region's sunny exterior and its bloody secrets is pretty striking, creating a narrative that is as compelling as it is unsettling. The characters that you meet in Toussaint are some of the most memorable in the game. Duchess Anna is a very fascinating figure, a ruler torn between her duty to the people and her very own desires. Dettlaff as well, the vampire at the center of this story, is one of The Witcher 3's most complex antagonists, a creature capable of both great cruelty but profound love. This place feels like the perfect conclusion to Geralt's story, a place where he can finally find some sort of semblance of peace, a land that offers a respite from the chaos of his life. The Blood and Wine expansion gives you the opportunity to reflect on Geralt's journey, tying up the loose ends and offering closure to this amazing story. You get your own vineyard as well. The ability to customize and upgrade this home makes Toussaint feel even more personal to you and to Geralt. It isn't just a stunning location, it is a testament to the artistry and the ambition of CD Projekt Red, a way to fully close this chapter, and wow, what a way they did it. It is a land that stays with you long after you've left it, a place that feels both magical and real. That's why it ranks number 1 for me out of all of the locations in The Witcher 3, and that's why this DLC, in my opinion, is the greatest DLC that has ever been released. But anyway, that's my ranking of The Witcher 3 locations. I like to think that Toussaint and Novigrad represent two sides of The Witcher 3's brilliance. The ability for this game to be able to contrast in such different themes whilst also keeping to the same sort of niche is just phenomenal. I'd like you to let me know what you think in the comments. Please give me your ranking of your favourite locations in The Witcher 3 and I'll be sure to take a look and reply. Thank you very much for tuning into today's video. If you have enjoyed it, please be sure to consider liking and subscribing and have a great rest of your day.